So guys, today I want to show you the Facebook Ads Manager. And now don't be scared if you've never used it before. There'll be a lot of details, but refer back to this tutorial, or there are tons of other videos about this same topic. So if what I'm saying isn't quite making sense to you and you're having a hard time grasping it, there's nothing wrong with just doing a YouTube search and finding a different video that might explain it a little bit differently. Okay, so Ads Manager. First you go to, actually you don't have to go to your business page, just go to Ads Manager. And I think there is some setup to do the first time that you ever visit this page. So you might not, you can see all of the different ads that I've had in this list. It's really a lot of them. So I've got a long history here, but as I remember, it's pretty intuitive. The steps that it takes you through, like you have to put in a credit card and you have to, you have to choose, which account it's affiliated with and everything, which person and which business page. But once you get it all set up, it just remembers your settings. So I will confess that it's been a little while since I have created any of these audiences, which is what I'm going to show you tonight, and things may have changed, but hopefully we can fumble through it together. And I know that that might not inspire complete confidence, but I also want to show you kind of from the perspective of someone who maybe hasn't seen all the latest settings. Like, you can still just go in and you can figure it out, okay? So don't hesitate to just play around with things until you find what works for you. So a really simple way to get started is just click Create Ad. I'll want to show you the options that it takes you through. So there are a lot of new options. There used to be a lot fewer than this, and I'm not going to go over every one of these, but the ones that I use the most, boosting a post, I don't usually do from the Ad Manager. I just use that boost button from my business page that appears on any post. The one that I really use is promote your page. So I don't know how that's different from increase brand awareness, get video views. Like, you're always paying for your ad to get in people's news feeds. So I don't really know how they optimize these different settings, but if you're looking to get more likes on your page, promote your page is a good bet for that. So that's what I start with. And then you can name it whatever you want. I suggest naming it something a little more specific than page likes, but you might not know what you want to name it until you have a target audience in mind. So before Country Heat, I did one for country music fans. So let's say new likes martial arts fans. Okay, thinking about Cour de Force. So I'm just going to make one up, and then I'll go back and show you some of the ones I created in the past that I use quite a bit. So custom audiences. So the way that I created these, none of these that you see here have really worked very well for me. So there's something called a tracking pixel where you can see who clicked through to your website. I have never gotten that to work, and at some point I would have to probably hire a web developer to figure it out for me, but it just hasn't been that important to me. So that's mostly what I was trying to do with all of these. There are different audiences that I have in my account that I'll show you in a minute, but they're not considered custom audiences. So they're not showing up here. If you don't understand what I just said, just hang on. I'll make it clear in a minute. But while we're in this screen, I wanted to show you this lookalike audience. So this is something I had to create at one time in the past, and now going forward, it continually keeps creating and adding to and refining this audience And just on all sorts of demographic factors, it's finding people that are similar to the people who already like my page. So people who are engaging with my content, people who've been following me, who haven't unfollowed. And, I'm guessing that it's probably women, probably around my same age. And it's a lot of the audiences that I've created in the past, which you'll see. It's infertility, eating disorder, anxiety and depression, people who have been dealing with those issues. So I've done my targeting already for that. Now I can just do a lookalike audience, and who knows what, it might be more from one of those three, or, it's people who responded to my ads in the past, obviously. So we're on the same page to some level. So I really like this lookalike audience. It takes a while. So once you activate that feature, Facebook takes a while to build it, and you'll keep checking back in your audiences and it won't be ready. And then one day it'll be ready and it will have enough people in it. And I think it's just because it takes some time for their algorithms to observe the demographic characteristics of your fans. So the lookalike audience is really good and powerful, but that's not what I want to show you right now. So let me see what happens when we do create new custom audience. See, the custom audience is like people, you could take people's emails, and like if you have an email list, you could upload it, and this ad will show it will be displayed to those same people on Facebook. Or, if you have your tracking pixel actually working, you could show your ad to people who have visited your website, or even people who clicked on a specific program but maybe didn't buy it yet. So it gets pretty sophisticated. That's what a custom audience is. It's specific people. So the two options here are custom or lookalike audience. Oh, and then it does have use a saved audience. Okay, so here's all, and I'll go in and I'll show you the criteria later. But so this is when I was playing around over a year and a half ago now. So eating disorder recovery, infertility. Oh, you can see it right here. Awesome. Okay. Anxiety and depression, fitness interest. That one was actually pretty effective for me, even though it's huge, 51 million people. I always choose Canada and the United States. I still get a lot of international people anyway, but this helps limit it. And if we started to sell into another country, I obviously would add that. So this is everything that I targeted on. It's all in the interest field. They like aerobic exercise. Maybe they like CrossFit, physical fitness, fitness and wellness. These are all categories that were in the drop-down list of options that Facebook offers. You might start to type fitness, and fitness and wellness would pop down. So you look at what the options are related to whatever you are choosing, whatever you're typing. Running, competition, Ironman, insanity, physical exercise, kind of everything I could find. 18 through 45 and female. Freelance writers, it says it's only 10,000, and then I targeted on education level. Female, Canada and US location, age 20 to 55, and then job title freelancer. And I just thought it was really cool that Facebook had that as an option, so I thought I would give it a try. And it really didn't work well for me. So what you are aiming for is, you want to get a cost per like of, I'd say, 25 cents or less. So if you're spending $1, you get 4 new likes on your page. And the reason for that is then, out of those 4, some people will have restricted privacy settings where you can't even see who liked your page. You see the numbers going up, but you can't see who it is. And then out of the ones that are public, if you send them all a message, not everyone is going to reply to you, at least not right away. So out of those 4, you probably get 1 who will be actually having a conversation with you. So then you're paying $1 per person, right? 25 cents per like, 4 people per dollar, and out of those 1 actually turns into a conversation that goes somewhere. So that's kind of my threshold. So I'm going to suggest that you spend $5. Now, I want to make it really clear, you do not have to do this. You don't have to spend money. However, it's either time or it's money. If you're having trouble getting your 3 people per day that you're adding to your list, or if you feel like you're spending tons of time in Facebook groups, and in your list, engaging with people, finding new people to add as friends that you really actually feel like you connect with, and you're not just adding random people, If you feel like that's taking tons of your time, then this is actually an awesome option to do really specific targeting for people you have something in common with. And, you know, instead of taking up so much time with it, you put a little bit of money into it because it's one or the other. So I used to do these all the time. It's been a while since I've actually done this, but I'm thinking of doing it again now that some of my other ways, like one in particular, Pinterest, was a way that I met people, and that has ended due to the settings on Pinterest changing. So I think this is a really great way to find people in your target audience. So let's see what I did for the country music interest. This was before Country Heat, and this worked really well for me, actually. I got a ton of interest, and I put down, it says country music interest, so I could remember what I used it for, but Zumba obviously isn't country music. It was kind of anyone who was interested in dance workouts, I thought would like this program. That ad did really, really well. Canada, US, 18 to 64, female. Then, okay, anxiety and depression, 5.5 million. And, you know, I still never figured out, like, so I think it's targeting on people who have at least one of these interests. I don't think it's narrowing down, like, for the ad to be shown to someone, they would have to have all of these interests. That would be a pretty small pool, I would think. So I think it's, you know, one or more. And it's kind of weird to have, you know, panic attacks as one of your interests. Like, that sounds funny, but I don't think it's like, because, you know, there's somewhere on Facebook, I think, that you can, like, choose what your interests are. I don't think this is what that is. I don't think somebody has actually selected these things. I think that Facebook is guessing based on the words you use in your posts and maybe the websites you visit and the pages that you're a fan of and the posts that you respond to and comment on. I think Facebook is guessing what your interests are, and that's how it's targeting people. So these are the interests that I could find that were related to anxiety, depression, or bipolar, which I don't talk about that much, but I actually was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, a mild form of it. I don't believe my symptoms are active lately, and I probably should talk about it more, but I feel like it always requires me to explain, and so if I'm in a hurry, I'm like, I'm not going to just throw this out there. So anyway, just so you guys know, and so that's what I targeted on. And then the other thing that you see, exclude people who already like living vibrantly. So I don't know if I did that. I should have done that for all of these. Can probably, hopefully, go in and change that. I see so many people's ads where I already like their page and it's wasted. If it's a promote your page ad, it's wasted because the call to action is like my page, but I already like their page. So it's wasting your money if it's showing this ad to people who already like your page. It's not going to grow your following, and it's still counting against your spending, your ad budget. So exclude the people who already like your page. And then I started targeting on education level because I was getting a lot of people, and not that I have anything against people who are less educated at all, but it felt like conversations weren't going anywhere, one-word answers. And the other thing about it was that I just felt like I would connect with people better. Like, my page is like kind of cerebral, like a little bit nerdy, neurotic, like getting into a lot of detail because that's just how I am. So I feel like somebody who has been to college is going to relate to that better. You know, just people who have more of those intellectual interests, because either, you know, as a result of going to college, or the reason that they went to college is because they are more interested in the academic, intellectual side of things. So that's the reason that I started targeting on education level. I have to confess, I'm not sure how well it worked because I still, you know, I think it did improve things, but it's not like everybody who likes my page definitely has a college education. That definitely wasn't the case. All right, moving up to infertility audience. So Canada and US, 25 to 45. I think I've just been playing around with the ages. Like, I kind of was thinking people under 25 probably are not really dealing with infertility for real yet. And then female, English language. I didn't exclude people who like my page. but I should have. Whoops. And then it was again like pretty much every term I could think of that was related to this. So ovarian cysts, unexplained infertility. I mean, this was like, I just typed in infertility and this is what popped down. Infertility and polycystic ovary syndrome, endometriosis awareness, foster care adoption, uterine fibroid, PCOS awareness, reproduction or fertility preservation. I think it was just typing in things like endometriosis, foster parenting, adoption, fibroids, cysts, and seeing like what else was popping down. It's a little bit of trial and error to see what categories they have on Facebook, but include pretty much everything that's related. And I got to 3.4 million people with that one. And then eating disorder recovery, 13 million in Canada and the United States, women between the ages of 18 and 55. English language, college grad I did for this one, excluding people who like my page already. And then for interests, binge eating, disorder awareness, body image. Again, it's like weird to say bulimia is an interest of yours, but that's just how, that's the terminology Facebook uses for these ads. Anorexia awareness, bulimia awareness, self-image, body image, nutrition. And this one did really well for me too. I think, whether they've been diagnosed with an eating disorder or not, I think a lot of women have these issues and have kind of subclinical eating disorders or food issues, body image issues. So a lot of people could relate to the ads that I placed with this, which is what I'm going to show you. But then I want to go over the last one. And this one, I was just like playing around, and this actually did pretty well. But this is part of my ideal customer of like, what pages does she like? Where does she shop? What brands does she love? So I did college grads, exclude people who like my page, 18 to 64, women who speak English in Canada and the US. And I mean, I don't want to exclude people who don't speak English, but like I was getting a lot of Spanish speakers, and then it's hard to have a conversation. So, and then what I picked was people who love Starbucks, Victoria's Secret, and or The Bachelor. So I guess I was kind of thinking about this from the perspective of like Beachbody's a big company, and when people buy into one of our programs, they're kind of taking a leap of faith to believe in a product. So people, there are a lot of people out there who are so skeptical of everything and, don't trust kind of corporate America. And I feel like the Beachbody website is, for people, it almost doesn't match the like focus on natural foods that, and clean ingredients that we have in Shakeology and the performance system. So I was kind of trying, because I would get a lot of people who were kind of skeptical about the ingredients. So I was like, okay, we need people who are a little, I don't even know what the word is, but just that it's like that same vibe where, they love their Starbucks and they're like just a little more trusting and they're not so skeptical where they necessarily need the full ingredient list of everything to make up their mind. Although I will provide that and I'll answer any questions, but, people who don't mind kind of just trusting the system. And, this is just an experiment. So I'm not saying this is like the scientific approach to my target audience, but it got some good conversations going for me. And I've used this one quite a bit. All right. So then, so I had decided, okay, so you have to name your ad set, which is what I did with the martial arts. And then, so this is create new audience because I'm not going to use a saved one. So United States and then Canada. And make sure you pick the country, not any of the other places called Canada, like, a town called Canada that's in Mexico, right? What do we have here? I'm just going to look at all the options. Let's say people who live in this location. It's crazy that it gets that targeted, isn't it? And then sometimes I started at 18, usually do up to 64. Not that I exclude who I want to work with, but I just find that, you know, sometimes people who are older than that don't really trust that I can help them, and they would be, you know, better connected with a coach who's closer to their age. Okay, and then English language, English all. We're saying they live in Canada and the US, so if they speak British English, I really don't care. Okay, and then it's suggesting things for me. So you just always have to pay attention because it suggests things based on what you've chosen before or based on patterns. So I had this weird situation where my page, I think, was being like targeted by hackers or something. Well, not hackers, but it was like this company in Bangladesh wanted to show me that it could grow my followers. I kept getting all these messages from them saying, work with me. And I had to keep blocking them because they were so persistent. But during that time, I had like well, not 1,000. It was like hundreds of people from Bangladesh, maybe dozens, whole bunch of people from Bangladesh like my page. And then what happened was it started when I was boosting a post because like all of the new recent people who like my page were from Bangladesh. It assumed that either that's where my business was located or that's where my target audience was located. So it filled that in the settings, and I did a boosted post where it was only being shown in Bangladesh before, you know, I did it for a week before I noticed it. So look at what the defaults are that it's choosing for you and make sure you change anything that you don't want. So for this martial arts, you know, I think I'm actually going to delete all of this out and just start over with a blank slate. And let's see what it comes up. Martial arts. Okay, we can just say martial arts. We can do mixed martial arts. Just see what pops down. And you could do interests, employers, or schools. I don't know. I'll just do interests. I mean, there's so many different options. And then it has MMA separately. So I don't know how this is different, but choose whatever's related. Okay, then it starts suggesting things that are related, and these are all related. So I'm going to pick all of them. I don't know about wrestling. We're getting a little bit far outside of... Yeah, I want karate and taekwondo, though. I see them down here. I don't know. I don't even know what some of this stuff is. It's probably a bad thing, but I mean, I guess I'll take physical fitness. That's so broad, though. Yeah, 421 million. Okay, so I want it to be more specific than that, so I'm not going to choose that. I think judo. Okay, what else? Women's MMA. What about capoeira? It's not in here. Let's look it up. Yeah. Okay. So that's probably enough. But it has all these different combinations. I don't know what this is, guys. So how many people is it telling me? Is it showing me over here? 35 million. That's kind of too much. Let me see what we have here. 122 million. I'm going to X that out. So the idea is if you're reaching too many people, it's not going to be really targeted. You want it to be big enough. Okay, 349 million. That's cool that there's that many people interested in martial arts, but still. It's funny, the variation. This one only has 3,000 people. Yeah, so I took the really big ones out of there, and now it's only showing me 8.5 million instead of 35 million. And that's way more than this ad is ever going to reach. But I'd say keep it somewhere between, like, I don't know, 1 million and 15 million is just based on, you know, if the audience is too small, like I showed you with freelance writers, it just wasn't reaching people. And then if it's too big, it's like everybody and their brother. Okay. And then exclude people who like your page. Very important. So this is awesome. So it used to be that you had to first create the audience and then do your ad. And now what I'm just showing you is they built it into the flow of creating an ad that you can create an audience and you can save it. So it used to be if you did it in this screen, you have to redo it later. Otherwise, you had to save it first and then go into your ad and choose it. Okay, and then I want to do $5 a day. Because what you can do is, well, okay, so I'm just going to do a sample, so I'm not going to actually set this all up because I have an ad that I want to run with this audience, but I don't have it ready yet. Okay, save this audience. I don't want my audience name to be Elizabeth Guy. Okay, martial arts interest. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, right? So now I can come back to that later when I have my ad ready. But just to show you how this would work, because I want to show you the full setup process of a new ad. And then I'm going to go and show you the previous ads that I ran to promote my page. Let me, I kind of want to edit placements. Yeah, because see, okay, good. So they don't have it on Instagram. So with a boosted post now, it shows on Instagram too. And that's problematic, I think, because the call to action is totally different. Instagram doesn't have clickable links to your website. So, you know, my call to action would be comment below. And yeah, it's too different. I don't like using one ad for both. And when you boost a post, it doesn't give you a choice. Okay, so we'll just do Facebook and let's see. Mobile devices and operating systems. So you can even choose iPhone only, Android only. I'm not going to do that. We'll see if it shows us kind of what the ad looks like because there's the right-hand sidebar and then there's newsfeed ad. So I would rather only do the newsfeed and omit the right-hand sidebar if we can. So we'll see. So it says $5 a day, $35 per week. You can turn these on and off at any point. So I'm just going to continue. So, okay. It says create up to 6 ads with 1 image each. Now you can do a video and you can do a slideshow. So you can explore those options. I'm going to show the image option right now. Free stock images. Yeah. But I'll just show you. In your image library is kind of a random assortment. It's things that I've used for ads before. And then it's like random photos from my page, but not all of them. So I have no freaking clue how it comes up with these. And I don't want that one. That was my banner photo when I was on vacation. So yeah, 25 page images, but it's not the 25 most recent. Like this one's really old. So who knows? Who knows? This isn't even on the page. This was an event photo that was on my personal page. But the stock images are really cool because they're free and they're better quality than, you know, most things that I would take myself. So obviously it's not you in the photo. That's the only downside. And but I will say that I've tried doing photos, doing ads with my photo, and obviously we do that with the boosted post, but for promoting your page, I think the stock images work really well. So let's just find something martial arts related since that's the audience that I just chose. So I just want to show you. Yeah, so look at all this. Like this is awesome, right? So you can pick up to 6 of these. So I definitely want that one. That's really cool. It's a man though. I prefer to have a woman. Is this a woman? You can't make it bigger, so it's really hard to see. Pretty sure that's a woman. But these are all really like karate-ish. Like I want something that looks more like kickboxing maybe. So let's look for that. So you can try different terms, and sometimes like the photos they pull up, it's nothing really even related to what you typed. These are kind of random. So, you know, when you have some time for this, dig into it. Cool. So I am excited about these images. I'm not going to run this ad because my page is not about kickboxing. I'm like, I hope this doesn't confuse you guys. So I'm doing promote your page and going through all the steps. And then just because I have all the audiences already, I was creating a new one and choosing ads related to that. But this would not be an ad I would use to promote my page because Core de Force is one specific program and it's not what my page is about. Okay, so I picked you can pick up to 6 images, click done. And then, so once you've picked images, then you have to do some text. So this is, I think, from my about on my page. So definitely want to change that. So here's where I recommend getting creative. One, you want to tell people kind of why they're seeing this ad. So make some reference to the targeting that you just chose with your audience. Just want to see how long I'm going here. Oh, this is getting really long. Okay, so number 1, tell people why they're seeing the ad. Like, how are they being targeted and why is your page right for them? And number 2, create some urgency and some, you know, you have to give the sense that there's something on your page that they're really going to want, so they feel like they really want to like it and see your post in the future. So I don't know. Let's see, what can I see my other images? Yeah, okay. I am not feeling the most creative at the moment. Let's do that. Well, so it's going to show all 6, and then you later can go in and turn off the ones that are working less well than the others. Okay, so let's see. Oh, gosh, I'm totally drawing a blank right now. And by the way, you have to, you can't say anything about weight loss. Your ad won't be approved. It's just Facebook sees it as spammy. So get strong, tone up, and so this is language about Core de Force. It's not about my page. Building the strength to take on the world. I don't know. Take on whatever challenges life brings. So then when it kind of, I think it's like auto saving, and you'll see whatever you just typed showing up right here. So I just want to show you, I think it gives you 2 lines. Yeah, so then if you make it too long, then the whole thing won't show. So you want to make sure that the whole thing is going to show. All right. So, okay, and this is the different ad formats. So Facebook feeds desktop, Facebook feeds mobile, you can see what it will look like. And then over here, can I turn this off? No. So it no longer lets you, yeah. It no longer lets you, I don't even know. I don't know what that is. Okay, living vibrantly. You actually can edit what it says here, but I suggest keeping it the name of your page. So it says like page, that's the call to action. And then it used to let you like uncheck so it's not showing in the right-hand column. It doesn't let you anymore. So I think those right-hand column ads, I'll just show you. Are there any on this page? No, it's just suggestions. Well, maybe this is one of them. Yeah, so this is somebody's ad, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't have any text, so maybe it's just a suggestion from Facebook. But definitely on your home page, You see ads in the right-hand column. And I don't know why, I just hate those. Like, I feel like my ad does not belong over here. This is like for big companies. Like, I feel weird when I see, you know, somebody's kind of personal page over there, but we don't get to exclude it. So I guess I'm going to leave it in because I don't have any other choice. So then I would just place order, and then you can keep checking back in the ad manager to see if it's live. You usually start seeing some likes showing up on your page once the ad is live. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to activate it, and then I'm going to deactivate it right away, because I kind of want to save what I just did, even though I'm not going to use it. Okay. So it showed just in review, and it's not approved yet. It says 3 were approved and the other 3 weren't, I guess. I don't know. So, you know, there are definitely things about this that are confusing, but hopefully that is the basics that can help you get started. And then just go back to Ads Manager Home. So that's, let's see where I can find that one that I just created. Oh, so many of these. For a while, they were all getting bumped down to the bottom, like whatever the most recent one was. It's pretty annoying. So I can't find my martial arts interest one. That's so freaking weird. So I'm going to have to go find that so I can turn it off, because I really didn't want to activate that, but I'm not going to make you guys wait while I do that. I'll do that in a second. So then what I wanted to show you is, yeah, these ads here. So you can see how they're all grayed out, and it says inactive. So all of these blue ones, they were active, but the budget ran out. That's what it means. So if I add budget, I could reactivate any of those. These can be turned on and off with the toggle of this switch here, because it probably says $5 a day or whatever I set it at last time. And then I ended up turning it off. Oh, wait. Okay, new items have added that could be shown here. Refresh view. I don't know why I didn't just refresh in the first place, but let's see if it showed up. Okay, so it's not at the very top, but it's almost at the top. Delivery, it says it's active. Did I get something that was approved? No, it didn't tell me yet. So I think that it's active in the sense that I've authorized it, but it hasn't been approved yet. We'll see if it goes through before the end of this video, but I'm looking to wrap this up soon for you guys, and then I'm going to turn it off. I just want to kind of show you, if I can, how it works. So all those grayed out ones that are gray because I turned them off, I can always turn them on again, but I just want to, I'm not going to, unless it makes me to show you the settings. Anxiety and depression. Let's see what we can find. So if you click on that, there's like really nothing here. I spent a total of $200 on this one. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I think if I click on this, I can see the actual ads that I used. Yeah. Okay, so you see these 2 were active because they were doing the best. There's no data now because it hasn't been active recently. So I ended up deactivating the other 4 because they weren't doing as well, meaning it was costing me more per like. Okay, here's this. Okay, so this is what this ad looks like. Fitness and nutrition to help you kick anxiety and depression to the curb. Now, that was limited by space constraints. It almost doesn't make sense, right? Like, is it fitness and nutrition tips? That's probably what I wanted to write, but I didn't have space for it. So it was more important to me to say, to help you kick anxiety and depression to the curb. You know, it's catchy, it's action-oriented, it specifically says anxiety and depression, second person, you. So I felt like this was inviting language. I wish that it had the historic results, but it must only show recent results. Okay, so it was the same text for that one. I'll go back to the main page. See, amount spent $0. That's how I know martial arts isn't displaying to anybody just yet. So that was my ad for anxiety and depression. Let's see what it did for infertility. Only spent $56 total. This is probably the one I'll activate again since it's such a big thing in my life right now. So these four at the bottom I deactivated. And this one I kept, these two I kept active. So this was a mix of images related to infertility and images just related to being an active woman and people seeing someone that they could relate to. And these are all from the stock images. And this one said fitness and nutrition tips to boost fertility and to keep us sane while we wait. I love that. I love this ad. I think it didn't do as well as I wanted it to, but I'm going to try it again. And then, let's see, ED recovery. What did I do for that? Eating disorder recovery, in case you didn't know what ED stands for. So I only had one image for this one. I don't know why. I can't remember the history, but I think this one did well. It says his life is good and has a beach. I think that, I don't know, maybe I redid the audience and I did the image that performed best from the previous time. But what the text says, that's what I want to show you. Love yourself, ditch the negative self-image and feel fantastic in the skin you're in. So remember, you know, short and catchy, exclamation point, capital letters, eye-catching, something that's going to draw them in. Everyone's scrolling. You got to stop the scroll. And then let's see what I did for my Bachelor Starbucks Victoria's Secret people. Oh, so that was the Life is Good ad. So thinking about the history, I think I had, you know, a set of 6, and this one did by far the best. So that was what I used with other things later on. Life can be stressful. Learn easy tips to unwind and lead a healthy life. So this was just a general message of what my page is about. So this didn't really tell people why they're being targeted, but that was because I couldn't really figure out what this audience has in common. You know, it's hard to explain what I said to you other than I felt like this is my target audience of people who like the things I like. So it was just a general language. And I think this one did pretty well. So the last thing I want to show you is how to edit the audience if you decide you want to change something. I know I can get to it in a different place, but let me see if this will take me there. No. But what if I do this? Okay, so I can adjust the targeting for this ad set. But any changes, well, let me see. I already did exclude people who like living vibrantly. So I wanted to add that to one that didn't already have it, because it was missing on a couple of them, if you remember. Do we have it on this one? They are excluded. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find one that doesn't have it. There definitely were some. That's so weird because I feel like it wasn't showing up. Maybe it is on all of them. Maybe I did better than I thought. This is the last one. Let me just see if it's here. Yeah, so I did exclude. Even though it wasn't showing up before when I was showing you the summary, I always excluded people who already like my page. So go me. That's to me probably, the most important one, because otherwise you're not maximizing your budget. So hopefully this was helpful. And I want you to try creating an ad to promote your page, even if your budget is $1. I would hope that, maybe you can spare $5, because I think with $1, you don't really get a sense of how the ad is going to perform because you're not reaching a big enough sample. So I want you to create an ad, do a screenshot of the ad so I can see what you're doing. I'm just going to turn this off because I know that that's not what I want to do. And then I'll show you. I think it should get bumped down eventually, and all the grayed out ones appear together, the ones that you've turned off, as opposed to the budget running out. So that's a basic tutorial of Ads Manager. And let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this was helpful.